Check it out. First of all, not only are we on location at Longbridge Pizza, but I got our man, Carlos de la Fuente to my left. Say what up, Los.
What's up, PMP? TGIF.
Well,
here in the flesh.
You know what, dude? Because we are live at Longbridge Pizza, and I've got Carlos de la Fuente with me.
Give us the Los. 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 What loan would you like? Give us the Los.
You gotta do the kind fade, Los.
Nice. That's the extended version. Nice.
There we go. We gotta do the kind fade. What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. To remind everybody, Paulie Mac. What do they say on Giants games? Paulie Mac on assignment, right? Paulie Mac's on assignment. Isn't that what they say? So Paulie Mac on assignment. Actually, he's in Mendocino, and he's diving deep into the woods, into the beaches of Mendocino, and getting some R&R with his better half, Liz. So hopefully you're doing well, Paulie. But again, lucky enough to have Carlos de la Fuente with me today. And we are on a Friday. We're celebrating a Niner 18-12 win. We're celebrating a Giants 6-1 win, I guess.
Our field goal kicker his job is secure, right?
Dude, Piñeiro. Although I did see Kyle Shanahan say something, he was riffing in the postgame presser where he was like, I was really pissed off at Eddie because he was the captain yesterday, and he was supposed to he deferred. They won the coin toss and he deferred, and Shanahan was like, no. In preseason, I want the freaking ball.
Oh, that's interesting.
You should have taken the ball.
He always defers in the regular season.
Yeah, and I'm a defer guy. What are you? Are you a defer guy?
I'm a take the ball guy.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a Walsh head. Loved how he did it, and I loved how Walsh wanted the ball, go down, score 3 and out, go down and be up 14-0 or 10-0 at the least, just like that. Like to play ahead, not from behind.
I hear you. I do like. I mean, there's pros and cons to both, right? But like what I like about deferring is once the game has kind of taken shape, and you get into the locker room at halftime, and then you come back out and you kind of have a feel for, who's hot, who's not, and what's working, what's not working, or make it adjustments, and you come out with the ball. That's kind of why I like the defer, but I do like the idea, especially on the road. On the road. Like if you can get the ball and go down and score at least 3. Yeah. Then you're in business.
Like
right?
they did at Philly. I mean, they went down and scored 7 and just shut that crowd up. So on the road, big. I think at the end of the day, Tony, it comes down to which unit is stronger. If your defense is stronger, you defer. If your offense is stronger, like I don't want to defer and my defense gives up 7 right off the bat. And then the whole idea about deferment is you score at the end of the half and then you score. But what if you don't have the ball at the end? So it has to predicate on you having the ball at the end of the first half.
No question, dude. And by the way, Paulie and I were talking off mic earlier in the week, dealing with East Palestine, Ohio, and our guy Jed in the Wheat Hill Mobile Home Park, that when the Niners go to Philly, they are going to they may have to blur out signs in the background. And mute the mics, the field mics and stuff because of the stuff that's going to come. And I don't think Jed York, who knows if he'll go to that game. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But, man, we have given the Eagles fans fodder. For
all fans, not just fans. Eagles will take advantage of it the most. But let's be real. Every time they're on the road, the signs are going to be legendary.
Yes.
The creativity is going to be off the charts.
Absolutely, man. And also want to take care of some business just to start out. This is Paulie Mac's Particles. Check us out on YouTube at Paulie Mac's Particles. Please like and subscribe. Also, thanks to Patty from Napa, check us out on LinkedIn at Paulie Max Particles, please. And join us there as well, talking business. But also, the audio versions are available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And again, if you're watching on Twitter or Instagram Live, thank you very much for doing it. But also, come over to YouTube and take a visit, like and subscribe while you're there. Also want to give mad love to Seth, the intern, who's just kicking ass from his sports desk in Novato, California, putting together all kinds of shorts for us. And, we just got 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, just went over 1,000 followers on Instagram in a very short time. We're building our followers on TikTok. So Seth's been posting shorts every day. So tip of the cap, Seth. Thank you very much, brother. And, and then we got Dom Peralta behind the scenes too. He's going to join the show because Dom had a great night in Half Moon Bay with Jake Peavy and Tim Flannery. Carlos de la Fuente and I had a wonderful evening at the Canyon Inn in Redwood City. Los enjoyed the hacksaw burger. We saw the owner, Tim. Shout out, Tim. Dom's going to give us some pictures in a second. Also, shout out to Ben the Juggler.
The Juggler.
Dude.
Wow.
Ben the Juggler. Actually, you know what? Hey, Dom, I'm going to send you a video. I know you're watching. I'm going to send you a video right now of Ben the Juggler that you have to put on the show later on because I've never seen a juggler at Canyon Inn. I also got the guy's business card, and I'm going to give it to Neil because I thought Neil should hire this guy to cruise around Longbridge on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
The entertainment just never ceases to amaze me anywhere in the Bay Area. I felt like we were at Pier 39. Like a juggler comes in and next one's going to be some magician. And
dude, I thought Los was riffing. I really did. When you're like, oh, there's a juggler over there.
No.
And I go, and we were sitting in a booth, so I couldn't see around my corner, over my shoulder. And I look up, and there he was, dude. There he was. Dom, I'm going to send this to you right now.
He was juggling plastic bowling pins.
Yes.
And they were all lit up.
I mean, here is I'll do a quick shot, but I'm going to send Dom the video, but there he is right there. I mean, this guy. Oh, so good. So good. So anyways, and it's beneficial entertainment.com, but it's not official as in OFFICIAL. It's beneficial, like benefits, like BENEFICIAL, beneficial.
Creative Ben.
Yeah. Totally. So, the funny part about Los and I hanging out at Canyon Inn last night in Redwood City, home of basically the unofficial home of 49er fans.
Oh, amazing.
It's a 49ers museum. But the funny thing is the Niner game was on in the booth, above us in the booth, but we probably watched maybe 3 plays.
No. we were into some good laughs and good talk.
Oh, we had great raps.
So we watched. What did we miss? Like 10 field goals.
10 field goals. We missed Mac Jones going 1 for 5 for 7 yards. We missed Khalil Herbert being the lead rusher. We missed basically everybody who, is going to play a prominent role in the starting lineup taking the night off.
Right.
Which is the way it should be.
Yeah.
But Kalon Black, I think it was 4 carries for 28 yards, right? And then Jordan James, dude. Yeah. So Los and I were talking about Jordan James before the show because we just were looking at the box score saying, we should probably get a peek at what happened. Jordan James, 8 carries for 35 yards. And he's out of Oregon. And they drafted him, I think, with some high expectations. Right?
Yeah. I think they're trying to justify Kalen Black and his, they got a lot of heat for him being picked in the 3rd round this year. So, they can't forget about Jordan James because he was, I believe, picked in the 3rd or 4th round last year. And he's a hell of a back in his own right. Mm-hmm. And he knows the offense. It's a complicated offense.
Yes.
So everybody's automatically given Black the number 2 job. And James may be the better back when it's all said and done. We will see. We'll see. And then we got the unofficial running back of the PMP show, Garendo, who will probably never see the field. Never.
Is he all done?
If I was him or his agent, I would ask to be released. To be honest, what is he doing there?
Something's got to give with him because I still believe in his skills.
Speed,
his breakaway speed, man, down the sideline last year. I was like, oh my, or was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago against Seattle.
Yes.
Where he slid at the 3-yard line.
Yes.
Pissed off fantasy owners.
Yes.
That was a bonus touchdown, man.
By the way, fantasy football coming up soon.
Yep.
I think his name's Mike Washington, backup running back for the Raiders. if you're looking for a late steal in your draft, grab Washington.
You're giving away strategy before a draft.
Totally.
Why?
Well, I already drafted my team. Yeah.
Oh, but what about the PMP?
Oh, yeah. Well, hey,
it's all good.
Mike Washington, everybody. Mike Washington, good backup. Ashton Genty is banged up. He didn't even suit. I don't think he suited up last night.
Yeah.
So, anyways, good call, Liz. Nice.
All good.
Yeah, that's. Oh, by the way, the name of the team, just a reminder, everybody, is
Herb. Herb is a plant.
That's the name of the team that Paulie and I run. And by the way, Paulie doesn't follow fantasy football at all. So it's just basically in name only that he's part of the team.
Please let him draft.
I promise you though, if we win it all, Paulie's going to take he's going to say,
give me that trophy.
Yeah.
50-50.
Yes, exactly.
Let him draft.
Yeah.
Let him draft.
Also, some more business is Joe Fonzi, the freaking legendary KTVU Bay Area sportscaster, sports anchor. Joe Fonzi is going to join us later today. Paulie and I taped something that we're going to show. We taped it on Wednesday, and just some great Niner talk with past and present Niner talk with Joe Fonzi coming up later in the show. Joe, basically from Linden, California. And can you name another prominent athlete from Linden, California?
I cannot.
Okay. Aaron Judge is the only one I know. So Aaron Judge from Linden, California. Joe Fonzi, also from Linden, California. And
Aaron Judge, Fresno State guy, right?
I think so. I can't remember.
So I'm assuming Linden is down that way?
Yeah, it's in the valley somewhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know it.
Right, same. But Joe started in Salinas, and then he made his way up to KPIX, and then moved over to he was at KPIX from like 82 to 94, I think, and then 94 until today. He is on Channel 2 KTVU, and he's going to be doing Niner post-game shows all season long. So it's really good to have him on. Joe freaking rules, and we're big fans of Joe Fonzi. Paulie and I are, when we ran into him at the Dwight Clark Legacy Series event, we talked to him, and we were talking about having him on, and he was all about coming on. So Joe, thank you. If you're watching, thank you for coming on the show. And yes, Joe Schmo, thank you on the chat. He's confirming Aaron Judge, Fresno State. I played against Fresno State when I was in college. That is a sweet, it
was a road game
environment. Yeah. Okay. We played them. Dude, my first ever collegiate baseball game as a freshman was at Fresno State, a 3-game series there. And I was like, oh, Jesus, man, I don't even know what I'm getting into, because they pack the stands. It's a party. They talk major trash to you. And then, they're also very, very good. So it's, it's
a little bit different than Moscone and South and West Sunset.
Yeah.
Right? Just a little bit of an upgrade.
Although I'll tell you what, though, when teams like Fresno State or Stanford come to USF, and they've really pimped out the diamond now. It looks great. Benedetti diamond looks amazing now. But when we played there, it was okay. It wasn't the best. On Masonic and Golden Gate. And when teams from like Fresno State and Stanford would come, they'd be like, oh, God, they hated playing there.
You living in a peninsula, I'm sure you've been to Sunken Diamond. I've never been there.
I played on Sunken Diamond, yeah. Sunken Diamond, I played there. I think I gave up a bomb there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. And it's like a putting green. You need to get to Sunken Diamond. Everybody, actually, next year, when there's a lockout, prepare for the next PNP hangout in 2027 to be at either a Stanford baseball game or a Cal baseball game or a San Jose State baseball game.
Oakland Ballers.
Oakland Ballers. I was just reading up on the Oakland Ballers this morning. They're wrapping up their season. They're having about a 500 season, but they're wrapping up their season. Gosh, I think this weekend. But
where are their home games at?
At Raymonde Field in West Oakland.
Oh, wow.
They redid the whole ballpark and the scene around it. And they have food trucks that come out, and they did a great job with that environment, man. So support your Oakland Ballers. San Jose Giants will be around next year too, because the lockout does not affect. Well, I'm already saying the lockout like it's officially happening, but I definitely don't see the owners and the players coming together, because what I keep reading. I mean, I read, and I don't know if these numbers are accurate, but that the Dodgers already have $455 million committed to their 2027 book to their payroll.
Yeah.
And the owners are trying to make the salary cap be around $280 million per team. So that would screw the Dodgers royally.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens as far as that goes, because I think they're very far apart, those two sides. So
and Tony, we can also go see your boy Dom play. That was impressive. Caught a few innings of that game down in Redwood City. Was it San Carlos?
Yeah, it's San Carlos. You guys, you know how Los is a gamer, because not only did he drive all the way down to Redwood City to go to Canyon Inn last night, but then he's like, I said, hey, my son has a game at 7:00, so I got to be done by 7. He's like, dude, I want to come watch some ball.
Yeah.
So Los came and watched a few innings of 7th grade baseball under the lights, and they lost 9-5, but it was a fun game, and Los got to meet my kids, and it was really fun. So thanks for coming, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was great. It was, a throwback, a flashback to the game that we love when it's at its purest and enjoyable. Although that mound was the first time I saw a makeshift mound like that. You were telling me about that.
I said literally one of the worst inventions in the history of this generation are fake mounds.
An area rug out on the mound.
It's a fiberglass hill, covered in AstroTurf, and they weigh a ton, and you have to move them on and off the field because you share the field with softball, which I understand why it exists, but growing up on real mounds, and then you get on a fake mound. So kids nowadays have to bring spikes.
Yeah.
And then they also bring turf shoes because a lot of them don't want to throw off the fake mound with their spikes.
Right.
They want to throw with the turfs because the turfs dig and grab into the turf better than the spikes do. So it's what a world we're living in. But if you look at all high schools up and down the peninsula now, they're going all turf.
Okay.
So to the point where there's no dirt on the field. The batting cage, or the batter's box is just brown fake grass, and then the pitcher's mound is just brown fake grass. And they build a hill underneath.
I would imagine pitchers would slip on their follow through.
Yeah,
getting used to that stuff.
I mean,
if they don't have the right shoes.
You gotta have the right shoes.
Yeah.
And then also like little divots do get kind of are created from all the wear and tear.
Yeah.
But it's just like, God, this is where baseball is headed, man. So, we need a George Kittle. We need an angry baseball player to say, WTF, where's the natural grass? But it's for schools that are trying to, keep, their finances in check. I get it because of all the upkeep of a natural diamond and all the water and all the dirt and all the grass and everything. I get it. But it's tough to watch. It's just tough to watch. Los, we're going to bring Dom on in a second here, but Giants baseball, okay, they won last night 6-1. Oh, you know what? Actually, stand by.
Bombs away.
Drew Gilbert went deep. All right, Drew Gilbert. There we go. Devers 2 for 4. I mean, he's seeing the baseball. Can't argue that.
He's making his fantasy owners happy, but at the end of the day, not making a big difference in wins and losses.
No.
Although they've been winning a little bit lately.
A little bit. They still what is it? 73 losses or 74 losses, whatever it is.
It may be nothing, but to come back the next day after a humiliating, embarrassing loss like that says a little bit of something about the character.
Sure.
You can let that kind of linger for a little bit. So, hey, we're trying to find any positives that we can.
Yes, dude. But then the argument about Devers is, and Adamas's number, I know Adamas is hurt right now, but Adamas's numbers too, is that these are almost like mindset at bats that you would have as like batting practice almost, because there's nothing on the line. There's no pressure. There's no, would he be having these numbers if it was a pen and chase and, every pitch, every inning, every game mattered?
He was part of a champion in Boston, so he did play in some meaningful games. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a very good player. I think, we always look for scapegoats, and he's the highest paid player on the team. And, I think Giant fans maybe are a little bit disappointed just as much in his personality.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have one. He doesn't talk to the media. He doesn't really talk to anybody. He doesn't run out, balls. He doesn't hustle. He just puts up stats. So Giants fans maybe are slow to relate to him, and maybe they'll come around if they have a better team.
Well, winning does that.
Absolutely.
Right. And I still think it's going to be 2 or 3 years before they're contenders. Right. And they
got some youngsters in the minors that are really exciting.
That's why go to San Jose Giants baseball.
Yes.
Go check out San Jose Giants baseball. But it's it's going to be at least a couple of years, I think. And they got to get that bullpen needs a lot of freaking work.
Let's just make that official. Like lockout or no lockout. San Jose Giants game.
Have you been to a San Jose Giants game?
Not in a long time.
Dude, they're really, really fun.
Let's do it.
And the fact that they've got all this talent in the world down there.
Yep.
Bonds' nephew, I just saw him get his first major league single. I think it was base hit. They just, like you said, the talent is down there, but they also, it's an intimate environment.
Yeah.
And it's also it's very family friendly. And also, I don't know, like the kids go there and they have a freaking blast. They can get game balls really easily. They let them on the field. They're very, I don't know, they're accommodating to large groups. If you want to do like a huge group, which we should maybe think about doing next year.
Yeah, I love it. I'm guessing we can find a bar before the game and after the game close to San Jose. I'm guessing we'll find something.
Totally, dude.
It's not in Linden.
Oh man, I'm trying to follow up on the chat too. By the way, Noemi Catalina saying Portland Pickles. I love it. There's the Portland Pickles. We got some Portland Pickles fans. Do the Pickles play the Oakland Ballers? That's a question.
What a name.
Yeah, the Portland Pickles. Yeah,
I got to see their logo.
Yeah, you know what? I think Noemi and Ray have been to a game. I think John Joseph is a Pickles guy. So
nice.
We got some Pickles supporters. The San Rafael Pacifics are also fun. Little J is saying.
How many teams are in that league?
Gosh, I don't know.
Okay.
It's the Pioneer Baseball League is with the Ballers playing.
Okay.
I don't know what the Pickles and Pacifics are a part of, but if anybody is on the chat that knows, please shout out and let us know. The Martinez Sturgeon, is that another ball club? Martinez Sturgeon, Noemi's saying?
Jeff Faust would be a big fan of them.
John Joseph says Portland goes only as south as Bend, Oregon. Okay. Well, the Bend Elks, if you go to Bend, Oregon, there's a team called the Bend Elks, and their little field is badass also, nice. Man. It's like, it's like going back in time. It's like Carlos and I were talking about Cooperstown last night because he's been to Cooperstown and I just got back from Cooperstown in July. Again, everybody, if you get a chance to go to Cooperstown. It's the coolest little town. It's in beautiful upstate New York. And then make a trip out of it and drive down to Jersey and Manhattan. Go sleep on Rags' couch for a couple nights and stay in Jersey and go to Manhattan. But get to Cooperstown if you get, and go to the museum as well. The cool little town, Abner Doubleday Field, where they filmed League of Their Own, and the museum. The museum is just phenomenal, dude. And
it's literally like you're out of a movie.
Yeah,
when you're there,
really is. All the shops and all the restaurants, and there is Doubleday Diner, which we ate at, which is just an old school greasy spoon diner, and it was freaking outstanding, just outstanding. So get to Cooperstown whenever you get a chance. Los, before we bring Dom on, Niner Cut Down Day Sunday. Okay. We had Larry Krueger on Wednesday night, and he was talking about Larry Worth III, who played a little bit last night, only had one tackle. But also he's talking about James Thompson Jr., right? Larry Worth, a linebacker.
Yep.
James Thompson Jr., defensive tackle. Like, those are a couple guys that I would really want to see make the roster. Is there anybody, and if it's one of those guys, feel free to jump on board. Is there anybody that you like expect to get cut? Anybody that you want to see make the cut? Anything you've thought about with the roster? And I'm putting you on the spot because we didn't really prep for the show. So but any thoughts about what you might expect for cut down day on Sunday?
Well, knowing the Niners kind of like tendencies, they tend to lean towards veterans over young guys with potential. They have let young guys with upside go before because the coaching staff feels, a little bit more comfortable with veterans. That's just the way they do it. So that being said, maybe the time has come to kind of shift and maybe get these young guys and keep them on the team, like a Worth. Upton Stout obviously has established himself. James Jones has been making noise as a cornerback because Renardo Green is banged up. Yeah. So James Jones is possibly might be your starting corner week 1.
And I'm a Stout guy. And we talked to Larry Krueger about Stout, that he said he looks very, very good and ready. And he said he is a warrior. He's like his game face. He's very intense, is what Larry was saying, being down at camp all summer long. I expect him to make a big impact this guy, Grace, what is it? Grayson Halton.
Grayson Halton. Yeah.
We'll see what he does. But I'm also that guy, Osa Odigizua, I think is a great get.
He might, after Bosa, be their best defender.
Yes.
And Freddie Warner, of course.
Yeah.
But you mentioned James Thompson. You mentioned the Halton, guy rookie from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You know, those guys need to make the team over a guy like Kevin Gibbons.
Yes.
You know, those are the guys that always make the roster. They never contribute. And, you know, then you see these some of these young guys, not all of them, go to another team and they flourish. And you're like, why didn't we keep them? So I personally love to see when young guys come up and are given an opportunity, because I hear that too much on Bay Area radio. It's like, oh, we have to go with the veteran because he's a proven commodity. Talent is talent.
Yeah.
Like, people forget, like, the Niners won their first Super Bowl off the back of 3 rookies.
Yeah.
Like, as great as Joe Montana and Dwight Clark were, they were 6-10 in 1980.
Yep.
They drafted Lott, Williamson, and Eric Wright. I should know that with my boys.
That defensive backfield. I love that defensive backfield, man. God.
And those were 3 rookies. They didn't sit them on the bench. They didn't cut them. Of course, they're not going to cut Lott. They played them right away, and things happened. So I am a big fan of just like developing young talent, and I think they have some young possible studs. So I hope they keep most of them.
And speaking of this, totally, we didn't pre-show talk about Raiders football, but I'm thinking about this now. Like, the Raiders haven't named their starter a quarterback yet, and they have Kirk Cousins and obviously Mendoza. I mean, part of me is like, just throw Mendoza out there and let him school of hard knocks. Throw him into the fire and let him learn, you know, as he goes. I don't know. I mean, to your point about letting those rookies play,
please,
right? And you got Cousins. Nothing against Cousins, but he's turning into a journeyman who still has a rifle of an arm, and you know he can be a solid backup if something were to happen to Mendoza. But I feel like, I don't know.
How does Kyle Shanahan feel looking across the sidelines and seeing Kirk Cousins? That's been his man crush for 10 years.
Well, I think now that Kyle got Mac Jones, I think it's softened or lessened.
That's his Kirk Cousins.
Yes. He's like, okay, I wanted Cousins. Now I want, and then there's a younger version of Kirk Cousins in Mac Jones. But nothing against Kirk Cousins, but he seems to be like more of a serious dude.
Yeah.
Mac Jones's vibe, and we showed that Van Halen Panama video the other night.
Great teammate.
He is
great,
and the fact that he's accepted the role, because he could start on other teams.
Yeah,
and he's accepted the role, and he's had this budding friendship with Brock Purdy.
Yep,
I've seen these great videos of them playing golf and hanging out, and he knows his role, and he loves playing for Kyle, and he loves playing with Brock, and he knows that if Brock goes down, I'm ready to answer the bell. And then as soon as Brock is ready, I'll step aside.
Fully supports his starting quarterback.
It's rare. Today's athlete, though, that's rare.
Very rare, because he's like you said, he's an established starter. He could play for another team as a starter. He's making $6 million a year. And how many times do we talk about like this guy holding out and this guy wanting more money? And it's it's about me. Right. It's so refreshing to hear an athlete say, you know what? I know my role in this team. I'll do whatever I need to do to help the team win. And like, he does it.
Do you want a ring, or do you want to like be the guy? Like, you can be the guy and get a ring.
Yes.
Like, I promise you, if the Niners happen to march all the way to the Super Bowl down to Los Angeles and win the 6th, Mac Jones will be a reason why.
Tony, I was thinking about the old 49er teams and holdouts. The only one I can think of, and I got a pretty good memory, so correct me if I'm wrong, Chad.
Yeah.
Ronnie Lott was the only old 49er from the 80s and 90s team that I can remember that actually held out. He held out for most of training camp. I don't think Rice ever held out. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Not that I remember.
Joe didn't hold out. Steve Young didn't hold out. Keith Fawnhorse, Randy Cross, you can go down the line. Fred Dean may have.
Yeah, well,
I want to say Fred Dean did.
He was holding out for.
He was holding out for more cigarettes.
Reds, yeah. Give me. I'm not going to sign until you give me a deal with Marlboro.
Can you imagine putting that in your contract?
And that was back in the day when Marlboro was a sponsor on the scoreboard at Candlestick. Huge billboard on the scoreboard.
He used to smoke drags at halftime, and then go out and get 3 more sacks in the second half.
Yeah,
I mean, production didn't lift, Didn't need vitamins. Wasn't the cut up athlete of today, but didn't get hurt and produced.
I mean, this is really interesting. And again, we didn't plan to talk about this, but okay, Devers, you see him every day with a ball of tobacco.
Yeah.
And he makes no bones about it. He spits out the brown juice. It's absolutely tobacco.
Did you chew back in the day?
No, I tried, and I like literally almost puked. It was my freshman year in college.
Same.
I almost puked right there. I got spinning. I got the spins, and I like was trying to catch the baseball. And it was like my freshman year at St. Mary's, there were a bunch of seniors, and I was on the pitching staff, and they were like, okay, we're going to mess with this freshman.
Yeah.
And there was one other freshman, this guy, Lance Scott. He and I were the two freshman pitchers, and they messed with us. We did everything. We had to do all the field prep. We had to do all the closing down the bullpens and mound work. Anyways, they were like, all right, you chew? And I was like, oh, man, I'm in a lose-lose situation here. Either I say, yes, I chew, and they give me some, or I say, no, I don't chew, and they force me to do it.
My older brother tried to get me to chew and gave me the beech nut pouches.
Okay.
Put a few of them under my, I couldn't do it.
I wish I would have gotten a pouch. They gave me what's called Applejack. Do you know Applejack?
I remember that.
So Applejack is like Red Man. It's leaf, the pure leaf. And they taught me that you chew a piece of like Hubba Bubba or Bubble Yum. And then you take it out of your mouth and you spread it to like make it like a little, basically a wrapper for your ball of tobacco. And then you wrap the tobacco and then you put it in your cheek and gum. So I did that. And I'm like, at first, I got to be honest, the first taste, because Applejack is like tobacco leaves dipped in like apple juice. It was actually not bad.
It wasn't bad.
But then it gets more saturated and then I started spinning like wild and I had to spit it up. And then I almost puked right there on the field, and all the seniors were laughing at me. And I'm like, never again.
Shout out Lenny Dykstra. He had the biggest ball,
dude,
of any ball player I can remember. Does anybody come close to him? Lenny Dykstra just had this huge ball of tobacco.
There used to be a bird's eye camera of Lenny Dykstra at Veterans Stadium when he was with the Phillies, and they showed because he played. He was in the lineup every day at center field. There was a brown ring on the turf in center field because that's where he stood, and he was just spitting all game. So bird's eye view, brown ring, Lenny Dykstra, dude, is unbelievable.
See, that's the baseball I miss. I miss UL Washington coming to the plate with a toothpick in his mouth. Tony, he's hitting with a toothpick, not in the field where a ball could or could not come to you. He's hitting and has to concentrate on whatever pitch is coming with a toothpick in his mouth. Oh my God. I
mean, think about it. Imagine that thing got stuck. Like George Brett has said that he swallowed a ball of tobacco because he used to have a huge ball.
That's right.
And he talks about it. He took a ball off the chest and all of a sudden he swallowed a ball of tobacco.
George did have a big ball.
I'm trying to find that Lenny Dykstra.
Great call.
Field shot.
Yeah, George and Lenny is neck and neck. 1A for the biggest ball of Don Zimmer used to have a big ball in his manager in his mouth as well.
Don Zimmer?
Yeah.
Some of the best chewers were old school.
Love it.
That's why I see Endeavors modern day. It's very old school. But the reason I even brought it up is because in the PGA, Angel Cabrera used to smoke a cigarette every fairway. And then other golfers are like, whoa, dude, that probably chills him out.
Yeah.
Like that's performance enhancing.
Whatever. Oh.
So he's not allowed to smoke cigarettes on the golf course anymore.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, the tobacco, does that chill Devers out? Does it give him a buzz where he's out of his mind, like swinging out of his ass? Like, is it performance enhancing at all? I wonder.
It can't be performance enhancing. It whatever works for you. You know, Joe Morgan went up to the plate and he flapped his wings. Dude, I mean, see, that's old school baseball that we were talking about last night that we love. Just the characters and all the different quirks about the game, toothpicks, wobs of bubble gum and tobacco and flapping. I mean, that's.
Yeah, see, look at Piñeiro saying one time during a broadcast, they showed an overhead view of Lenny Dykstra's area of the outfield and had a 10-foot circle that was dark brown. That's fine. We were just talking about that. That's crazy stuff, dude. I was looking for it on my phone. I can't find a picture of it right now. Actually, Don Peralta, you're listening right now. If you can grab a photo of that, see if you can grab a photo of it and join the show if you can. Speaking of Dom Peralta, I just want to give this man some love because Dom has been such an incredible contributor to the show, and we just are so freaking thankful to Dom and everything he's done for the show. All the t-shirts, all the stickers, all the posters, all of the marketing and products and gear that he has created. It's all Dom. And I'll never forget when Dom started offering to do this stuff. He's like, hey guys, I started my company over 11 years ago. There were people that helped me.
Yep.
He goes, I want to pay it forward and help you guys out. Yep. And he goes, and he's been listening to KBR a long time. And so, and I'd seen Dom's name all the time. And then he's the one that made the picture of Paulie and I as Simon and Garfunkel. And that was our original logo. And that was Dom Peralta. I'm like, yeah, Paulie, I've heard of that guy, Dom Peralta. And now he's become a dear friend. I was at his house this freaking morning, you know, seeing his great dog Bear, and Bear doing very, very well. Nice. But I also want to talk about Dom, the designer and the graphic designer and the artist and Stellar Design and Peralta Arts. Okay. And we'll bring up Dom's website here too, because he is involved with many great products. I was at his house today and he showed the baller cam. He was showing me the baller cam at his house today. So let me see if I can just share this website, domstellar.design. And there it is right there. Stand by and check it out, y'all. Because where did the website go? Oh, there it is. But this is Dom's website, stellar.design. Make design impact, right? So check it out. There's the yard sale poles that he's involved with right there. Those are the magnetic ski poles. If you've ever skied, you know that having magnetic poles is a huge, huge advantage, okay? So this is some of the products that Dom's involved with, okay? And the stellar.design team. And he says, we are Stellar, stands at the forefront of industrial design in the San Francisco Bay Area, a vibrant hub of innovation and creativity. Our consultancy is dedicated to shaping the future of design through cutting-edge solutions that not only market demands, but also enhance user experiences. So, and again, like we talked about, you as our partner, Los, and everybody else's partners of this show, and there's the Goha leaf care system or the Goha rags care system. But Dom Peralta is a man for others. Everybody that is partnering on this show is they chose career to take care of other people. And so, Dom, thank you for all the support, brother. And you can contact Dom at stellar.design, 650-796-3144, 650-796-3144, or Dominic at stellar.design. I'm going to bring Dom to the proceedings here. See, there he is.
What's up, guys? How are you?
What up, Dom?
How are things? Good to see you, Los.
Always. I got to say this about both of you guys and just to the whole chat. Like to do the show like this live right next to Tony and to see him set up, and I know Dom has to set up, is very impressive. Like these guys are extremely talented. Creative Tony, creative Dom. Like did either of you have any designs on being DJs at all with the things that you do? Because I know you both love music.
Oh, like actual
actual DJ back in the day. Did it ever cross your mind, either of you?
Yeah, I mean, I love music and I love being a part of live music. I've never thought of being an actual DJ, but I did think when I learned Pro Tools, right, and that digital editing software that I used at KBR for 24 years. When I got a grip on that, I'm like, ooh, I could actually start making mixes. I could start making some DJ mixes, right? And using these at gigs, but I never, well, because the workload at KBR was always massive, so I never had a chance.
Oh, no doubt. But I think you both could have killed it. I mean, back in the day, it was Cameron Pohl and Michael Erickson.
Dude,
were the two DJs.
I got
to meet Cameron Pohl at a lot of clubs because I went to City Nights. I went to 412.
City Nights.
City Nights. I went to 412 Broadway, and Cameron Pohl was there. Short little dude, blonde, and I would buy him a couple drinks, and that's how you get in good with the DJ. And he'd call it out. And he always had females around him, and he passed away not too long ago. Rest in peace. What an absolute magician on mixing in the 80s and 90s. My God.
And the club scene in the 80s was on point.
Yes.
On freaking point, man. I remember sneaking into clubs because I was in high school in the 80s and being like, okay, I'm going to sneak into this bitch because it was incredible.
Fake ID? Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
On Market Street.
Nice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And they were blue and yellow.
Yeah.
They were blue and yellow. Fake IDs. They were so bad.
was a little older than you guys.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Man. Come on, listen.
Hey guys, I wanted to show you this. Dude, I got my Portland Pickles hat. Hell yeah.
Nice. John Joseph, Noemi, Ray. Did you guys see that? That's freaking rad. Nice.
Sweet.
But one
Joe
more time.
Snow's probably wearing one right now.
But a little closer, just so we can look at that, dude. That's a great logo.
Yeah,
that is one happy pickle, dude.
Shout out, Mr. Pickles Deli. Not a bad deli.
Oh, good call. Yeah,
Little sponsor for the pickles.
Yeah, Mr. Pickles, if you're watching, please give us a call. Let us know if you want to partner on the show.
Absolutely.
I'm a number 9. I love number 9.
Dude, hold on. Ray Goodman says licensed to dill.
Dude.
Come on.
Drop the mic right there. We might as well end the show.
Who said that?
Better than that.
Ray Goodman.
Oh, Ray. That's genius.
Because I just suck right now because my New Year's resolution was trying to get to the Supers when they happen. And obviously here we're sitting in freaking the end of August. Oh, and happy birthday to my goddaughter, Gemma Marcoletti. By the way, it's her birthday today. She's a freshman in high school at SI. I got to give her a call later on today. But happy birthday, Gemma.
Nice.
Love you.
Virgos.
Yeah, right. Totally, dude. But stand by. I got to do a little business time. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. It's business time.
And because it's so fun Friday and we got the Friday vibes going.
It's business. It's business time. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say it's time for business. It's business time. Ooh.
And there we go. And by the way, Joe Fonzi coming up later on in the show. We'll probably do that at the top of the hour. Go for another about 20 minutes here. And then we'll do Joe Fonzi. We did about a half an hour with Joe. Great Niner chat of past memories of Joe's and also what his thoughts on the present situation and the present team. And we did have to ask him about Wheat Hill Mobile Home Park as well. So it's just part of the deal. But Ray Goodman is a super, and he did this at 12:10. Ray, I apologize. We're 32 minutes late here. But he says 260 miles from Dayton to East Palestine. Funk to bunk, dude. Nice, Ray. Nice, dude.
Ray's on fire today.
Yeah, Ray is on fire.
Ray's on fire.
Oh, thank you, Ray. And if you're gigging this weekend, let us know. We'll let people know. I know Ray's got a birthday gig coming up next weekend, and we'll talk about that next week. But if you're gigging this weekend, post something on the chat, Ray. Steve Groschel, what's up, Grosch? Happy Friday, brother. He says no turf equals exactly, dude.
Totally.
No sunflower seeds, man. That sucks. It really sucks. Every time I'm able to go to a game where there's natural turf surface, I'm like, yes, we can break out the seeds. So something's got to change with that. Maybe they need to. I know they do have some like a vacuum system that actually like gets shrubs and stuff off the turf. Right. Those should be able to pick up sunflower seeds as well.
Well, Tony, I would say if it's no seeds, it's probably also none of this.
Oh, dude,
nice.
Look at
there
that.
You go. Look at that.
I couldn't find the overhead view of him. I know which I remember seeing that too, but I mean, look at a mug of Dykstra.
That is
Lenny
outrageous. I mean, dude.
Yeah.
He was an incredible leadoff hitter for the Mets and Phillies back in the day. He
didn't come out against lefties.
Right.
Yep.
There was no platoon. He hit lefties.
Also, I kind of like mimicked him and Ricky Henderson in my batting stance because I got down low and I squatted and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make my strike zone as small as possible.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times when Dykstra, he got so low and Henderson got so low that a pitch at their eyeballs might be at the top of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the top quarter of the strike zone, but it wasn't ever called a strike because they would be in the squat. Now with the freaking box and the ABS and all that stuff, which I'm anti in case you're guessing, you know,
it's like a universal strike zone, no matter if you're 6'4" or if you're 5'4".
Exactly.
It doesn't go that way. It's the knees to usually about the letters
of your stature.
And then across the plate. That's the strike zone.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not into the ABS thing. They need to do some.
This guy, Gilbert's reminding me a little bit. He's like a mini Dykstra.
Dykstra. Yeah, he needs to make more. He needs to make more contact and not swing out of his ass as much. Because Dykstra had pop, but he also he could go. Dude, he could go oppo. He was a good 2-strike hitter. Like I was big fan of Dykstra, and then kind of went off the rails. But we don't have to go there. Candlestick Kid is a super and a new member for 15 months. What's up, Candlestick Kid?
Nice.
What's up, PMP Mafia? Happy Friday. Los D, you the man, brother.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Thank you, Jorge.
See Los wearing the Sacred Heart Fighting Irish lid. There you go.
Nice.
Hey, way to represent Los.
Yes, sir. Oh, speaking of that, Stevie had a super a couple days ago where he was talking about once you graduate, you support the WCA schools. I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
Like if SI is playing maybe St. Francis, I'm all SI.
100%.
Reardon as well. I'm for the city schools, WCL in general, with the exception of Sarah. I have a little personal vendetta against Sarah. If I could share it real quick. I played against Greg Jeffries.
Yeah.
And
he's like a Dykstra player. Like he was very Dykstra-esque.
We rode our team bus into Sarah, and we see this 66 Mustang with the license plate 444, and we know immediately who that is. Great player. He made the MLB. Not taking nothing away from him. Very arrogant player. We had a guy on our school.
He was
very, very arrogant player. Rightfully so. He was an outstanding baseball player, but we had a guy on our staff named Jim Keppen, lefty, like Tony.
Let's go.
He had a nasty 12-6 curveball.
Yeah.
Jeffries had trouble hitting right-handed against curveballs. So Keppen struck him out a couple times, and we were riding him from the bench.
And he was a hothead, dude.
He was a hothead. So we were riding him in the bench for the first 6 innings. In the 7th inning, I get on. I steal second, and I'm thrown out. I thought I was safe. No instant replay. Jeffries makes a derogatory remark toward me.
Oh, of course.
Let's just say it's like a racist remark, because it was, our team had a little bit of everybody, and we were giving it to him. So he made a little comment. I dropped an FU. He dropped an FU. The umpire kind of got between us.
Good.
So I
said, my money's on you, Los.
I didn't. I wasn't as big as I am now, but the dog in the fight, man.
Was this at Sarah? Or
this was at Sarah.
Oh yeah. See, especially at Sarah.
He was just like, get out of here, and then the derogatory remark. I was like, what? I was like, I don't care who you are. I know how good you are, but I don't care who you are.
So he used to work out at Sarah a lot, and so I used to see him around, and I only had very limited interactions with him. This is when I was a lot younger, and it was just a quick hello or whatever. But I would hear so many stories like that of him crossing the line.
Yeah,
and it's like not cool, man. So, and then back to your original comment about WCL schools. Yes, I support all of them as well. But within that, I'm all about the city schools.
Yeah.
Right. So Reardon rebuilding their program.
Yeah.
Okay. Sacred Heart just made a great hire for their head coach. And I love that it's a Sarah grad. It's a Sarah kid.
Yeah.
But he said, you know what? I'm going to SH. Let's go. So, and there's something special about that league and the talent of that league. I've said for years, like if I was a college coach, I would just go to WCL games. Yes. Like if I was a West Coast college coach, I would just go check out. And then of course you got San Diego and LA. There's good ball players down there too. But the WCL is loaded with players, man. So so Dom, dude, let's what time is it? We got 48. So I want to, because Dom was at Old Princeton Landing last night, and our guy Tim Flannery and his guy Jake Peavy were there performing together. And I didn't know this was going to go down, but Jake Peavy performed did he perform solo, Dom, before?
He opened. Yeah, so Jake's got his own band. So he and his band, they're incredible musicians. So they opened up, and it was like, I don't know, man. It was really good. It was like a mini Sturgill Simpson show. Like they were full band. It was really awesome.
So you see, when I said the other night, I said that Peavy gives me Sturgill Simpson vibes. You see that as well?
Totally.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I hung with him and Tim after the show for like about an hour, and there's no doubt about it. He gleams off those vibes for sure. Yeah.
Yes. By the way, the Nutter, there was another guy from Sarah that was very arrogant. B. It's unfortunate, man, because Bonds, when I was Ralph and Tom's producer for like 5 years, way back when, we had the Barry Bonds show once a week, and he just was not. He went out of his way to be rude to me, to other people at the station, to media relations directors, to just like people that are just trying to do their freaking jobs. And it just clouds my thoughts of Bonds because I loved watching him play baseball. And it's he's the greatest hitter I've ever seen.
You don't have to be a douche when you're a great player. Steph Curry is a perfect
Steph Curry
example.
is the gleaming example.
Yeah, that you don't get any better than that.
No.
But so many other great athletes they put themselves above, other people, and that should never be the case.
It should never be the case. And it's like, dude, we're all in this together, man. Like, or if you don't want to do the show, don't agree to do the show.
Oh, he flaked?
No. He would just come on, but he would be a total dick in preparing him every week.
Gotcha.
And he'd be late. And then if he was late, he was, never very cooperative or apologetic. Just never played along. He just never. It was always like we started to loathe the fact that oh god, we have Bonds. Oh man, and it shouldn't have been. It should have been the other way. Like yes, we got Bonds today at 5:15 or whatever. It's going to be good. It wasn't that. It wasn't that case. Now of course Ralph and Tom would always make it into some freaking audio gold. But
he was like that movie Click. He was on just auto mode. He was there, but he was not there.
Yes. Yes. Hey, a couple more supers before we get into OPL. Okay, sure. So stand by. Ray Goodman, I asked, and Ray Goodman delivered. He says they play tomorrow, 6 to 9 p.m. at Hillside. Tomorrow, 6 to 9 p.m. for the Martinez Beer Festival. Nice, dude. Right on.
Awesome. Nice.
I promise you, Ray, I will make it out to Martinez for one of your gigs very soon. I was talking to Noemi about that at Standard Deviant, so I will definitely make my way out there, brother. And good luck on the gig tomorrow. And then the birthday gig we'll talk about next week. And then Steve Groschel is another super. Mighty Grosch. He says, Tony, you might have emulated Ricky Henderson in the batting stance, but you did not resemble his speed. No, not at all, dude.
Although, too good.
When I coached high school, actually, anytime I coached that allowed base stealing, I taught Ricky Henderson's style of base stealing, which is his first step.
Crossover?
The first step, what's that?
Crossover step?
Yeah, but it was also you would turn so you're in the lead like this, right? The pitch is that way. Yeah. And you turn and you would throw your right elbow around as if you're trying to elbow somebody behind you. And that created the torque and the turn and the momentum, and then you crossed over. Okay. And his first two steps were so freaking explosive that he was like shooting out of a cannon. And then he would just gain speed. I mean, dude, if you go back and watch his videos of stealing, it almost looked effortless. And then he would glide down and then just like he was the reason I slid head first. Was not Pete Rose. It was Ricky Henderson for me, but Pete Rose started it before Ricky, obviously. But the head first slide, and then the way you can slide into the bag with just your left hand and avoid the tag, and then grab onto the bag, that back corner of the bag, and just hang on for dear life.
Base running is so interesting.
Art form.
Yeah, ironically, at Sacred Heart Practice, we had a USF guy come out and work with us on base running.
Nice,
and he would ask each of us to okay, show me when you run out of the box, the first base, and you're trying to get a double. And very few guys did the loop, so you can get momentum going second and hit the inside of the bag. People were just doing it as an L. And
also, if you go straight to first, then you end up creating a huge loop between first and second because you're trying to, physics won't allow you to do a right angle turn.
And in
geometry,
people think if you
Kansas said.
Yeah, people think if you slide head first into first, you're getting there faster.
No,
if you're running through the bag.
Well, and also we do a drill where we have we take the base off the mount at where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
And we put it 5 feet past the base, and then we just put a cloth, like a white cloth where the base should be. So to teach the kids to run through the bag.
I love
as if the bag is just past you. Right? Run through the bag. Because you see a lot of people lunge that last step, lunge for the bag, and that actually slows it down.
Yeah.
And we always say this could be the difference between safe and out. This could be the difference between a win and a loss or a run scoring, whatever.
I've never heard that drill. I love it. That's a fantastic drill.
Yeah, run through the bag. Oh, Sweet Mad Hatter, dude. Hang on. Sweet Mad Hatter, you're a super. Thank you, brother. Also, I want to give Sweet Mad Hatter some love because I did not get to this yesterday, Mad Hatter, and I apologize, but he threw into the musical assignment Dolly Parton's song called Eugene, Oregon that she wrote she did in 1972. Sweet Mad Hatter emailed that into pauliespot@gmail.com yesterday. Also, Rising Wolf, who I saw last night as well. Rising Wolf came just after you left, by the way.
Oh.
Rising Wolf came to see Dom play a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives just right down the street. And
sorry I missed him.
But he also said Eugene, Oregon for Dolly Parton. So Eugene, thank you. I'm sorry, Sweet Matt had to thank you for that yesterday. And he also says, Los, you are looking great on air. I'd like to arm wrestle sometime to see how
I want to see that. Yeah,
that's awesome,
dude.
I think Cheeks is the defending champion.
Wow.
But yeah, he'd be tough to beat. But
we see that.
We could do that for sure.
We talk about PMP like movie nights. Over the Top might have to be a movie night.
Sly Stallone, underrated movie,
dude. Hell yeah.
Over the Top is an incredible movie. Incredible. If you want to like nutshell the 80s in a movie, like Over the Top could be one of those movies that could only come out in the 80s. And the soundtrack too.
I was just gonna say I can hear the soundtrack song in my mind. Who sung that?
Make it over the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, was that Frank Stallone? I want to say that was Frank Stallone, Sylvester's brother.
I think so, Tone. I think you're right.
You know what? By the way, Paulie just texted.
I don't think it was Stallone. God, who's the guy that does most of the Top Gun music?
Oh, Harold Faltermeyer.
Him, but somebody else.
Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins, I think, did the lead song for Over the Top.
No way, Dom. Any chance you can look up the Over the Top soundtrack?
Oh, if I get a music question right, nice.
Oh well, Los knows his ass.
Not like you guys.
By the way, Chris Kelly from Saturday Night Live, our guy Chris Kelly just texted me and Paulie this picture. He says, just got back from Belfast, seeing Idols in concert. Thought you would enjoy this graffiti art from Belfast, Ireland.
Nice.
Look at this. Here, check this out. It says, "Don't go home without your pizza."
Without your pizza, dude.
Look at that.
Hell
wow,
that's incredible.
That's from Chris Kelly, man. That's freaking rad, Chris. So
backwards, that looked like another word.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Leave it at that.
And Chris Kelly, for those who don't know, he's the stage manager for Saturday Night Live, dear friend, and listens to our podcast religiously, and was a big time follower of Murph and Mac and all the work we did at KMBR. So thanks for checking in, Chris. And Kenny, it says Kenny Loggins, Charles
Kenny
P1
Loggins.
Chuck.
Yep.
So Kenny Loggins did the song Over the Top.
So
I don't know if it was called Over the Top.
So it's Meet Me Halfway.
Meet Me Halfway. That's the song. Because I remember the voice.
And then who did the song Over the Top? Was that Frank Stallone?
That one. So let me reload. Stand by.
Sorry, Dom. I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, it's okay, Tone. My computer's acting super wild today too. So,
is it a full moon? Is it a full moon tonight?
I think so. I think there was something going on.
Yeah.
I don't see a single song called Over the Top, but
it's Meet Me Halfway is the one
Meet Me Halfway is the one you're thinking of. Yeah. And
Meet Me Halfway.
Robin Zander did In This Country, which is also on that soundtrack.
Nice.
So shouting that out for Paulie. So, and Eddie Money is also on there.
Dude, I apologize. I apologize to everybody. The song is not called Over the Top. It's called Winner Takes It All by Sammy Hagar. Winner takes it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loser takes the fall.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Time will make it over the top. Oh my God. PMP viewing night. Paulie, you're booked, dude. We're going to go to the Castro Theater. Let's rent out the Castro Theater and go see Over the Top. Anyways,
great idea.
How do we even get to Over the Top? Oh, Sweet Night Hatter wants to
challenge you.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and it just diverts and it goes in that direction.
All right, Tony.
What happens?
Two things.
Yes,
Let's do it real quick.
Go.
I found the poster for Ray, so I wanted to shout that out. So here's
Nice.
more info on Ray's upcoming show at the Beer Garden in Martinez.
Yeah,
So
the
anybody
Hillside Tap Room. There it is.
Hillside Tap Room. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get over there if you're in the area.
Downtown Martinez, underrated, man. Does not get the love it deserves.
Totally.
Downtown Martinez. Very cool spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, go Ray. And then before we do the Flan PV stuff, I have the photos loaded of you guys at,
Okay.
we can't not talk about the hacksaw.
Yeah.
We got to dive in on this. And Los,
Paulie
also
was the one that
amazing.
talked about it. Yeah, good.
Dude, major props for your outer sunset sweatshirt. That is badass.
I was telling Tony about that. Like I was telling him, I never buy shirts or anything at the airport. Never. Because it's just so overpriced. But the last time I was here and I was flying out, I went by and saw the San Francisco little store. And the shirt that was on display was Outer Sunset. And that's where I grew up. 44th and Irving, between Irving and Lincoln, by Golden Gate Park, by the ocean, by the Cliff House. I was at that arcade at the Cliff House almost every weekend.
Penny arcade.
Yeah, my $5 allowance went far then. So I saw that Outer Sunset shirt, bro. I had to have it.
That's so money. I love it.
That's pretty.
That's from that company, San Francisco. You know it, Dom.
Yeah, and, I love San Francisco. They're awesome.
Really good job. And by the way, I see Jeff Faust, our guy Jeff Faust, on the chat.
That's my brother.
He says, "Los and Dom, you guys kick ass. Happy Friday, everyone."
Right on, Jeff.
Jeff. Need to come fishing with you. That's all I gotta say. He's been trying to make it work. It's just my schedule with my kids and stuff is nuts. But I'm not coaching anymore. So in the fall, I definitely have some more windows. I'll drive my ass up there and just show me the way.
You might want to bring Dom with you.
Actually, Dom loves fishing.
Oh, dude, I'm all in.
Dom. This Dom and Dom, both.
Let's both.
Multiple Doms.
Yes.
Dom time too.
Well, because my Dom loves to fish and he doesn't do it enough.
Same.
Bring him.
Yeah.
Bring him. He would love it. Night fishing is the way to go.
And dude, that reminds me of Night Swimming by REM. You know the song Night Swimming?
Nice.
That's a great song, by the way. But I want to make sure if I took Dom swimming or fishing, like he's going to end up with like a hook in his cheek, you know?
Oh.
So I need Jeff to
Faust will hook it up.
Yeah. Jeff Faust, show us the way, brother. So this is Dom, can you go right back to the hacksaw picture real quick?
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, this is the hacksaw burger at the Canyon Inn. It's a double patty, and Los freaking whacked that thing. I mean, just
still full, right, Los?
I can eat, and like I was full at like 10:30 this morning still, and I ate that thing about 6 p.m. That thing was a monster, and I was not going to leave anything left behind. I was going to finish it.
No.
Yeah, Paulie recommended that, and you mentioned it as well. Dom did, so I was like, I had to have it. But there was a lot of options.
A lot of options.
Food there's hey, you need to, if whether you're a Niner fan or not, that you need to go down to that place if you're in the area.
Yeah.
Just the food, the environment. Just Tim is a great dude. Awesome spot. Loved it.
Absolutely.
It's a great call on the hacksaw burger. There's Los and I with Tim, the owner, because Tim walked in as we were kind of getting ready to leave after we were talking to Ben, the juggler, and Tim walked in. I'm like, Tim, and we had a big embrace. And I was really excited because I really wanted Los to meet Tim, because Tim is just one of those people who, I mean, the amount of time, it's like Neil Denardi at Long Beach, the amount of time that these guys put in to making that place what it is.
Yep.
It doesn't happen without Tim. And I showed Los, he's got the framed letters from the Niners from back in 1981 and 1982.
Those are so awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible. And when the Niners used to work out at Red Morton Park in Redwood City, and then they would come and hang at the Canyon Inn. That's all because of Tim. So, and there's Los and I in the booth with a great shot of Garrison Hurst in the background, by the way.
Love that.
Yeah. So
I love it. Every booth is different. There's like, the whole place is just covered in photos and memorabilia and letters and I've been going there too, Tone, since I was a little kid. Like we'd have like little league season ending parties there, and then growing up as a stoner on the peninsula, there's no better place to go after sesh than the Canyon Inn. So
Dom, you know what's funny is when I hit the Waze and it gave me directions from the airport. I was like, oh, it's having me go shoot up 280 instead of 101. I was thinking 101 would be a straight shot.
Yeah.
And I told Tony as soon as we got there, I was not expecting this to be like up in the cuts near the 280 off of Edgewood.
Yeah.
You know, I'm used to everything off of 101.
Right.
You know, Harry's Off Brow and all these other spots, Jack's, you know, for all the great peninsula restaurants. But what a great location, just kind of away from everything, and great environment, great food.
Yep.
Just awesome.
Totally.
Yeah. But Paulie and I at one point do want to do a show from there. At some
you definitely should.
We want to do a show from there. And Tim has already said, guys, come whenever you want. So we're definitely going to do that. And then do you have the juggler video by any chance?
I do. Stand by.
Here we go. Yeah, let it roll.
Let's run this back. All right.
Come on. Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah. What's your name, man?
Ben, Beneficial Juggling.
Yeah, Beneficial Juggler.
Yeah, I'm at the Canyon Inn every Thursday night, 6-8 p.m.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how can we find you online or somewhere? Like
Beneficialjuggling.com. Instagram, Facebook at Beneficial Juggling. BENEFICIAL Juggling. Juggling's beneficial. I'm Beneficial Juggling. You can call me Ben the Juggler.
Ben the Juggler. Right on, Ben.
Appreciate it. Every Thursday night at the Canyon Inn.
Dude, I love it. I love it.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
I thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what's a trip listening that back, and I thought this when I heard it live. His voice sounds just like that character from The Sopranos, the guy that played Tony B. Tony Soprano's cousin, Tony B.
His cousin.
Guy. His voice, if you hear it again, sounds just like him. I mean, when I was hearing him talk, I was like, where do I know that voice from? I didn't tell Tony at the time. We were into all kinds of conversations, but that dude sounded just like Tony.
Dude, that's such a good pull, Los. That's such a good
his voice.
Good pull.
We'll have to play this for Paulie next week and see if he pulls the same reference.
Yeah, don't say anything. Yeah, if he watches
anything.
the show, he'll cheat. But if he doesn't, I bet you he'll be like, oh man, that sounds like Tony B.
And totally. And by the way, I love a juggler with swagger.
Yeah,
I know, right?
How about his outfit?
Dude, he definitely had swagger. I want Neil Denardi. I told him about Neil, and he gave me his business card. I'm gonna give it to Neil tonight.
Nice.
Yes, because Neil and I are gonna meet up after the show.
Beneficial. He needs to be. I think someone said it on the chat earlier. He needs to be at the frolic on 12-4.
That's a great call.
Fantastic.
That's a great call, and we'll hire him. Whatever his rate is, we'll hire him and we'll pay him. And that is a thank you, Dom. See, right there,
right there.
Yeah. No, this was not me. I think it was Noemi or Big Al.
Oh, seriously, in the chat? Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, not a shock either that it comes from the chat because the freaking chat is always on fire. Always on fire. All right, take us to Half Moon Bay before we let Los go.
All right, buddy. So Flannery. So
I
snapped this driving on in. So beautiful. It was a classic coastal evening.
It was a wild, dude. The sunset last night was unbelievable, dude.
Totally.
Driving in Nevada. Oh yeah, I saw it. Beautiful.
Oh man, it was such a nice night. So yeah, if you've been to a show at Old Princeton Landing, there's the inside and the outside. They originally were going to do it inside, but they just kept selling tickets. So Brian, who runs Old Princeton Landing, moved it to outside, and it was perfect. So they've got that beautiful art set up on the back. So Jake and his band opened it up. It was awesome. They've been together, I think, since 2016, 2015.
Nice.
And he sounded incredible. I mean, it was like he's a pro's pro, and he approached it just like opening a World Series game. Like
look at Peavy. Look at.
I know.
He's such a freaking stud. I miss Peavy. I miss him a lot. I know Paulie does too. I just miss his whole vibe. He's another guy, just a vibe guy. He added so much to that team. Oh man, miss him.
Absolutely. And he kind of opened it up. So they played a 45, 50-minute set. I know the Nutter was there. He was right up in front.
Nice.
I got there like probably 15 minutes before they went on, but the house is packed. So Jake opened up. He had just had retina detachment surgery in his eye, so he wore sunglasses the whole entire time.
Wow.
I know he was playing hurt, but he played fantastic.
The fact that he got on an airplane, because he has a ranch in Alabama, I think, right?
He does, and he brought his son. Also played with him. He's 18. Also, nice. Jake. And so he traveled with his fam. They were out. They rented a motorhome. They're going to be gigging with Flan all weekend, which is awesome.
Right on.
Yeah. So they opened up, and they did all covers. They did a Dolly cover. It was awesome.
Nice. That's fantastic. Of course, they did a Dolly cover. That's so
yeah. There was a couple all night. Nice, and then Nutter said Jake's oldest son is a guitar player. So yeah, and I met him afterwards. Such a cool dude.
There you go.
And they all got PMP shirts, so they're all set up.
Did you give Scott Ostler a PMP shirt as well?
I did. I met Scott afterwards. We hung out and talked.
I love that Scott was there. That's great.
Oh, dude, Scott was opposite the Nutter, so other side. sitting by the little campfire that was set up. It was perfect.
Dude, nice.
Scotty-O. So then I jumped to the back when Flan and the band came on because I kind of like being dead center.
Well, that venue is such a cool outdoor venue. It's tiny, but it's
tiny.
What they've done with the stage and the backdrop of that stage is badass. It's awesome.
Yep, there's probably 250, 200 in the house, so it was pretty full.
Nice.
Yeah, hung out by the sound guy for a little bit and rapped with him. Such a cool dude. And then Jake came on and ended up playing probably the full second half of Flannery's set. It was awesome. The two of them just like, and if you've ever seen Flan or if you haven't, he will play a song and then he'll give you a 5 to 10 minute story about something that either weaves into the song or when he's rounding somebody home in a critical game. Like, he kind of weaves in storytelling into the show.
That's what makes it such a unique experience.
Love that.
Absolutely, it's a must.
Yeah,
even if you don't really know any of his songs because he mostly plays his original work. The storytelling alone is worth it. And
heck yeah.
Just Flan being Flan. So, and then the two of them together on stage.
That's a great shot, Dom. That's a great picture. Yeah, that's a cool shot.
And Flannery's the guy who really got Jake into it. So he told this story, and I'll just abbreviate it. When Jake was a rookie, before he even got called up in San Diego, Tim got him his first guitar and got him into music when he's 18 years old. And so that's the bond that the two of them have that's forever connected. Yeah. So Jake's like, I'm here because of you, and now you're going to have to deal with it. So
nice, dude.
Yeah. So they played
that.
It was awesome.
So cool.
Played about 2 hours, covered a bunch of stuff, original stuff. They did some Neil Young at the end of the night. It was awesome, like absolutely awesome. And Tim Flannery and the Lunatic Fringe, each one of them is a completely accomplished musician on their own.
Yes.
So they all travel and play with other bands. So
see, Tim's theory, or basically his mindset is just like Paulie and me, is that surround us with people better than us, because he does the same thing. He makes sure he's got these virtuosos that he's playing with and takes on tour, and he puts together a hell of a band.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I mean, they've got 3 more shows that are tonight in Santa Cruz, Saturday in Chico, and then Sunday in Novato. Chico. I know Novato is, I think there's about 80 or 90 tickets left for Hot Bunk. So for the PMP Army, whoever's out there, get out there. It's so worth it.
And that venue is cool, man. That Hot Monk venue is really cool in Novato, and so is the one in Sebastopol. They did a really good job. So
absolutely,
definitely get out there. Yeah, look at Osler, dude. Osler, man,
Scotty, nice.
Dude, post show was where it was at. So we hung out. I ended up giving everybody shirts.
Thank you for doing that, Dom. That was really nice of you.
Dude,
thank you.
Tony, I wore my Grateful shirt, and like 10, 15 people asked me about it. And then I'm like, I've got some in the truck. I should hook the band and the guys up. And then I saw Scott, and so it all just kind of came together.
Right on.
But the side stage, backstage rap with Osler, Flannery, Peavy, myself, and Brian from OPL was legendary.
Yeah, I bet.
Stories about Pete Rose and Flannery getting called out by him on his rookie day, and then 10 years later, Pete Rose telling him that he was one of his most favorite players to watch. So
that's gold. That's gold, man.
Legendary.
And before we're gonna let Los go here in a second, but dude, imagine, that's what I think about, having Flan as the third base coach and part of that coaching staff. Imagine playing for a coaching staff that has Righetti, Flannery, and Bochy. Like, nothing against the present day situation, but just that is like something to be really cherished. And I'm sure Jake Peavy, actually, Jake did used to talk about this, about how playing for them was such a treat. And he said that he and Flan on the road would bring their guitars and sit in the stairwells of hotels and have jams, just the two of them, after games. And I'm like, where else is that happening?
Totally.
In MLB, and look at Peavy. God,
dude, he's the best, man. Like, Like
Yeah.
I've met Tim a couple times, but the first time I met Jake, and he, like you said, he has those like Sturgill Simpson everyman vibes.
Yep.
Like we're sitting chit-chatting, and he's like, Dom, I feel like I've known you for like 10, 15 years. You know, like he just like so present. And like, dude, in today's world, that's like very hard to come by. So
we were just talking about that. Just very down to earth. Don't need to have the ego about I'm a major league or a former major league player. Great.
Totally.
Yeah. You're a human being. I need my human hat.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly.
I mean,
that's great.
Big shout out to all those guys, Tim, Jake, the whole family, everyone who's producing this little run that they're doing. I couldn't recommend it more. Music fan, Giants fan, baseball fan. Like this is where it all overlaps. So get out there.
And also just to repeat, they're Santa Cruz tonight, Chico tomorrow night, and Hot Monk in Nevada on Sunday, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So they warmed up last night, and Jake came in hot. He played a little warm-up show all on his own in Sacramento on Wednesday night, just to kind of like get back into the groove. But he said he's been playing back home a bunch. So, and you could tell he was very polished.
Oh, freaking awesome. Dom, thank you so much, brother. And appreciate you showing the photos. And we're going to get going here. We're going to throw this to Joe Fonzi. But Dom, thank you, not just for this, but for all, everything you do for this show, brother.
Dude, it's an honor, man, just to be out there and help. Yeah.
Thank you, Dommy. I'll catch you next time for sure.
Heck yeah, Les. Yeah,
hell
always fun to hang.
Hold on, a couple supers here just to let it on the way out here. And the arm wrestle, last one. Corinne is a super. Nice. Thank you, Corinne. She says, Pam beat LA. Leah and I already have ticks for Sunday.
Nice.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Great job.
Dude.
Great job,
girl, Corinne.
Hey, broads of PMP, way to represent. Great job.
Yeah.
And also Miriam, and I forget who went with Miriam last night.
Joe Schmo.
They brought home a W at Oracle Park last night as well. So Miriam, thanks for offering up that ticket to Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo, way to make it to the yard and bring home a W. Bring home a rare W, shall I
totally.
say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And anyone that is going out to the show, they start at 7 on the dot. So Jake is ready to rock like a first pitch. So get there early.
Punctual. I love it.
Yeah, that's very punctual. I love it.
Very important intel right there, because most bands don't start that early. Number one, and number two, they're not that prompt. But these guys want to get moving at 7. Get there at 7, and
it was like a first pitch. He was ready. He was like, okay, 7 done. Let's go.
Hell yeah, dude, I love it. Well, hey, on that note, before we let Los go, I just want to say thank you to Longbridge Pizza for welcoming me back into the LBP and welcoming Los into the LBP PMP studio here. I haven't been here all summer because I've been down at the house because my kid's been out of school. But it's good to be back. And also Longbridge Pizza, 2347 3rd Street. Get down there and make your order on longbridgepizza.com if you don't want to come down. They do deliver in San Francisco, but also you can do takeout or come in and dine inside the dining room. It's a great spot, great vibes, and incredible pizza with sourdough crust, good local beers. All the food, all the ingredients are locally sourced. So it's because Neil and Andrew Markoulis, that's their mission. They want to support other local businesses because that's the type of people that they are. And I see Andrew in the chat. What is up, brother? Hopefully everything is good in Tahoe. I heard it's raining up there.
Andrew.
Yeah, I need some Andrew. We need more Andrew. So,
me too.
But yeah, and Neil, like I said, we hired him. Me and my buddies that run the Horseshoe Tournament, we hired Neil to do the pizza tomorrow. So Neil and Gilbert will be there with the pizza wagon. Just an example of how you can hire Neil yourself and get him to come out to any event that you want Neil to attend. Events, if you email them, events@longbridgepizza.com. Events@longbridgepizza.com. They'll come to you and they make it kick ass. They make your event kick ass because you're having really, really, really good pizza made right there on the spot, right out of the oven. Sorry, Liz. Come on in.
Yeah,
there you go.
Get in the oven.
Follow them. Steven does incredible work, really entertaining stuff on their Instagram @Longbridge Pizza. And again, longbridgepizza.com is the website if you want to order ahead of time. And Tuesday to Sunday, they're open and off on Mondays, although Neil usually works on Mondays doing something somewhere for someone because he just is an ass kicker. So Thanks again, LBP. First sponsors to come out of the gates, and the partnership we're working on 2 years now. So thank you, LBP. And Dom, on that note, I also want to thank Dan Cochimilio and our guy Dan Cochimilio, because
Rags.
What did you Rags say? Shoot, I missed it. Is it on the chat?
Looks even hotter in the oven.
Los looks.
I have to meet Rags someday face to face. That dude is just so gold, man. Love you, bro. Love you.
Let me see if I can get this uploaded, but Arkansas Dave just sent me something that connects to Rags. So let me see if I can get this up.
The meter.
Stand by. I'm so sorry.
We'll get Los out of here. See, Los, every time we talk, it's going to be, we're going to talk for like 30, 45 minutes. Here we go.
Yeah, it'll be like 5
Always. But
Okay,
I love it. I love the overtime.
Oh, there's no rush, Dom. We're having a good old time here on a Friday. And stay tuned for Joe Fonzi coming up in a couple minutes once we finish up here with Los and Dom. And also, while you're doing that, Dom, let me finish talking about Dan Cochimilio. If you want to secure your money in your retirement, or take care of your 401k, or help with your taxes and saving money in your taxes, contact Dan Cochimilio. He is our guy. Literally, it says it right there. Protect what you've built, grow what you have. That is what Dan does for you. So please give him a call. There's nothing more important than taking care of your retirement and taking care of your finances. This is what Dan does for a living. He's done it for 26 years. He chose to take care of other people. That's what he does for a living. 888-960-SAFE. 888-960-SAFE is the phone number, or email Dan at securemoney.com. Just like Los chose a career to take care of people, that's what Dan does as well. That's what Dom does. It's what Longbridge Pizza does. It's what all of our partners on the show do. They chose careers that take care of other people. So thank you, Los.
Always. Thank you, man.
Brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
here
Dom,
we go.
Thank you, everybody. Wait, what is this again? What is happening again?
So Arkansas Dave sent us this morning that he may have come across Mrs. Rags has a Corvette, and she is running around Arkansas. So you see the license plate is Mrs. Rags.
God. Oh
so,
my God.
Nice.
Yeah, that's out of control.
That's
Rags,
incredible.
Rags, do you recognize this car? What's going on?
Wow. Nice ride too. A vet.
You want to talk about freaking particles, man? Arkansas Dave just said in the chat, he says it just happened to be there, and I love that you snapped a picture of it, Dave. You freaking rule for doing that, man.
Sweet.
I had to get this up here, Tony. It's too good,
dude. That is the perfect ending to the week right there. Before we get to Joe Fonzi, that is just absolutely perfect. Thank you for that, Arkansas Dave. And again, pauliespod@gmail.com if you ever want to email something into the show. I owe Patty from Napa an apology. She sent me a picture of her brother-in-law from Portugal wearing a PMP gear, and I have to get that up on the show next week. I don't have it up right now, but next week, Patty, I will deliver on that. And everybody, thank you for joining us on the chat. Thank you for supporting the show. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Carlos de la Fuente, thanks for coming into town.
Man, what a blast. What a blast.
Thanks for coming to LBP to sit in the chair and rock the co-host mic.
Oh, this was really fun doing it live like this. And shout out to Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home, for sure. Dude. And it's always good to be home, and 72 and 59 degrees sure beats 108 and 90.
That's natural AC.
Yeah, but I got to get over that Bay Bridge before I know how Friday traffic works out here for sure. And I got a meter that's up in about 6 minutes. So
spoken like a
get out of there.
Yes, spoken like somebody that grew up in the Bay Area.
I know the city well,
right?
Yeah. The good and the bad, all good. Much love, all love to everybody, man. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, Tom, I'm wondering. Maybe people can respond on the chat. I'm wondering, do we save Joe Fonzi for next week, or because we gone an hour? Like, are people want to see Joe?
Play it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Do you have it loaded up? I see it loaded up in the queue. Do you want to? Can you just play it from there, Don?
Yeah. Stand by.
And then everybody,
welcome
thank
back
you.
To the Paulie Mac party.
Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Exactly. Just rewind it and get it ready. Everybody, thanks again for all your support of the show. And I know I speak for Paulie when I say this, but there is no show without everybody that checks out the show. And so thank you all y'all for checking us out on Twitter as well and Instagram Live. Thank you for checking us out. Dude, listen to a couple of the accounts, new accounts that I've never seen before, Dom.
Yep.
Club Sandwich with Extra Mayo joined the show. David Dretzy, I see Dretzy on board. What's up, Dretzy? Way to thump the bass at Winter's Tavern in Pacifica over the weekend, brother.
Yeah.
We also have, oh my God, the one, the only Lee Hammer is checking us out. What's up, Lee?
Nice. Lee Hammer says yes.
Yeah, Hammer. He's saying yes all the time in semi-retirement, although he's working for the Olympic Club too. So Lee, we're due, man. We are due to play some golf and to hang out, man. And then Finar Kadaya Von Tronbetta joined. That's a new account I haven't seen before. 49ers Nation, good to see you on board. And there's lots of other people. Danimals79, what up? Anyways, there's a bunch of people on Instagram Live. Thank you so much. And again, on YouTube at Polymax Particles, like and subscribe while you're there. And also the audio versions on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But for now, we're going to let our conversation that Paulie and I taped on Wednesday with Joe Fonzi end the show and enjoy the next. It's about 30 minutes, just FYI, but it's really good stuff with Joe Fonzi.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, welcome back to the Polymac Particle Show. We are very happy today to be joined by a friend of ours. We've known this gentleman for a long time, and we've admired his work in the Bay Area for a long time. He is Joe Fonzi. Of course, you know him over at KTVU TV, sports anchor for many years. We enjoy his work on The Point After as well, post-game coverage during 49er games, or during the season, rather. But, Joe, great to see your face, man. Thanks for joining us today. How's everything?
No, good to be here, and I could not be happier. It's a beautiful summer day over here in the East Bay. Not foggy, not too hot. Very nice.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting away with something this summer. It's been so nice. The rest of the country is in a meltdown mode, but you're right. It's been really beautiful here in the Bay. Now, we have to start today, Joe, with a story that I guess launched from outside the Bay Area. But I was telling Joe, Tony, before we started today, my original intention was just to kind of preview the season, talk about some of these injuries we're contending with, but then the atom bomb dropped a couple of days ago, the Jed York story. So, Joe, I guess to start in a broad sense, just your kind of overall reaction to the news, because it's taken me a couple of days to really start to digest all this. But how did it hit you? What's your view of this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, initially I was probably shocked like everybody else. Again, I thought Kyle Shanahan's statement was pretty accurate in that, somebody that we all know and obviously, made a terribly bad decision and has, issues that he's going to have to iron out personally. And that's honestly as far as I want to really comment or speculate, because I don't know the intimate details. I'm sure a lot more stuff has come out than Jed would have liked, because it's obviously an embarrassment to him and an embarrassment to the organization. But the part to me that I think has no bearing whatsoever is, it doesn't affect anything that happens on the field.
Okay.
I mean, the smartest thing Jed did a few years back was he took a lesson from his uncle and said, I'm not a football guy. I will sign the checks. I will hire football people and let them make football decisions. So that is John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and probably the finance people and maybe Al Guido to some extent. And other than that, those guys, they determine what happens on the field. This is obviously not a situation that anybody would want to happen within the organization. It's a huge embarrassment, but I don't think it in any way affects the product on the field.
Yeah, Joe, I like the way Kyle handled it, like you said in the press conference, and basically not shying away from the fact, like, hey, Jed and I have an understanding that we handle the football stuff and he handles the other stuff. And I love that he just went out there right and got out in front of it. And then Fred Warner, same thing, saying, this is off the field stuff, doesn't affect us at all. And I just appreciate the way these guys all handled it.
And I think the reason they did that is because it's true. That is the story. There's no bigger story. Obviously for him in his personal life now, the smartest thing he probably could do is, disappear for a while. There are other parallels in sports about other management people, other owners that have had similar type personal situations. And it's probably the smartest thing for them to just, handle their personal issues, get out of the limelight for a while, and just let the team take care of all the talking points.
Hey, Paulie, quick side note. I have to already compliment Joe right out of the gates. The way you can tell that you're a TV guy, Joe, because you're looking right into the camera and you're dealing with two former radio guys that don't know really what they're doing visually, man. So tip of the cap right out of the gates.
Well, it took me a while because you want to look at the screen and look at you guys.
Right.
Right.
And some people went out to me, the camera's right up here, so look up here. So it took me a while to learn that, but
it's funny, man. Well, I want to go back to what Joe said about how it should not have any bearing on what we actually see during games on the field, and I pretty much agree with that. I want to ask you this though, Joe. Given the fact that we've already heard Kyle Shanahan, Tony mentioned Fred Warner, and I thought Fred handled it beautifully as well. I thought he said all the right things. But I do wonder in the back of my mind, I don't think it's a distraction, but will this become in your mind like just a nuisance or an aggravation for these players that they will have to continue to answer questions from reporters? And I'm sure they're going to continue to get peppered at least for the next couple of weeks until this thing kind of cools down a little bit. Like, does that have any effect on the players just becoming like an aggravation?
I mean, it's already been asked and answered in the Bay Area. Everybody's written their columns and they've written their opinion pieces and all that. I suppose it'll be asked again in Australia, but the players are worrying about the 53-man roster, which gets announced on Sunday, whether or not they're on the team. They're worried about injury recovery. They're worried about those kinds of things. And, regardless of what the personal issue is with the owner, unless you're one of those people that have your hands in everything like Jerry Jones. I mean, I think that being a head coach in Dallas would be one of the hardest things to do because the owner holds a radio show, the day after the game, and many times is contradictory to what the coach may have said in his post-game press conference.
Totally.
So, who wants to be in that type of a climate? But again, as I said, the smartest thing Jed ever did was a few years back when he said, I'm not involved in the football decisions. I'm involved in the business decisions. And just as the players, they honestly, whatever the owner's personal life is. Now, Eddie D was kind of the exception to that. He became friends with some of the players and they were invited to his place and all those kinds of things. But that is not the case with Jed. I don't think the players personally care any more about his personal life than they care about, what are his meal habits? What clubs does he belong to? Anything like that. It just does not, in my opinion, affect what's happening on the field. But you're right that it's going to be a nuisance maybe. But once the questions are asked and answered, I've always said, I'll use the steroid example. How many people avoided the steroid issue or forgot how to speak English or didn't want to talk about the past or all those kinds of things? To me, Jason Giambi was the shining star of how you deal with something like that. He said, I got caught up in the mentality of the times. I'm not proud of it. I would grab a little bit of stomach fat and give myself a shot. I'm sure my numbers were somewhat affected by that. And when they started testing, I stopped doing it. I'm not proud of myself, but I did it.
Right.
So who's the idiot if they ask the question again after that? If you ask it again, you go, hey, that's already, it's old news.
That's a good call.
It'll be old news now. It's if somebody in week 6 says, well, hey, how about Jed and what happened in Ohio? Then, I mean, what's new about any of that?
Yeah, nothing's going to change what happened. That's for sure. But Joe, you mentioned Australia. And I wanted to ask you that out of the gates because, man, you covered the Niners at the Stick in their heyday. And like, we were so lucky to have those years, right? But how do you feel about the NFL, the inevitable NFL expansion to Europe and worldwide, and the fact that the 49ers are they're spending the most miles on the road than any team ever in the history of football.
International games this year, too.
Yeah. The only team that's ever done that twice on the road in different countries.
Yeah.
So, what is everything driven by today? Why are USC and UCLA in the Big Ten? Why are Cal and Stanford in the ACC? Yes.
Right.
The only thing driving anything these days is making more money. So if you have another whole continent where you can sell jerseys and, I mean, that's what the NFL's marketing strategy is get spread out there as much as possible so you can sell merch, get people in the seats, have them watching on all the different websites and all of the different streaming places and make more money. So if a high profile team that has an international following like the 49ers, you'd put the Cowboys in that category, you'd put the Patriots, those are the teams they're going to send to those countries. So people buy their stuff and they open up their brand to more and more people. So, it's unfortunate for the 49ers that they'll travel more than anybody has in the history of the league this year.
Right.
But West Coast teams are kind of used to that anyway. If you're the Chicago Bears, a road trip to Detroit is getting on the bus for an hour and a half.
Right.
But
right.
if you're the Seahawks or the 49ers or the Raiders or the Arizona Cardinals, you're getting on a plane and you're making long trips a lot of times.
Yeah.
Good call.
And
Good call.
these have been like the major threads of the preseason so far. The mileage this team is going to have to log. Obviously, now the Jed York story. And then, Joe, the other one is just the overall health of this team, especially in the last couple of years. The substation conspiracy theorists are out there. But there is some, it has to be addressed. The Niners have more injured players right now than any other team in the league, and they haven't even played a meaningful game yet. We just learned backup quarterback Curtis Rourke has broken ribs. What do you make of that, Joe? The fact that, and it's not just the usual, I pulled a hamstring or my groin is tight. There's some pretty significant injuries that have been occurring, and it's not like Kyle has really physical practice. Back in the old days, guys like Parcells or Mike Ditka, their teams would be beating on each other in practice. Kyle doesn't really run his operation like that, so it's not that the practices are too physical. What do you make of this whole injury thing, Joe?
No, I think there's two schools of thought. There's one that says, the old guys used to come and play 6 preseason games. They'd come to camp to get in shape, and now guys are fit all year long. They're making so much money that they can do that. They don't have to have other jobs, those kinds of things. But I just think it's a combination of some years you get lucky with injuries, some years you don't. Guys are bigger, faster, stronger than they ever have been. When 3 240-pound guys fall on your knee, it's very different than 3 320-pound guys falling on your knee. And that's where we've come. When guys are routinely running 4.3 40s and they're hitting you at full speed, or when guys who go 240 pounds are running 4.5 40s and hitting you at full speed.
Yeah.
And to me, there is no excuse, however, anywhere on the planet for the fact that NFL football is being played on field turf.
Yeah,
you had, you had a FIFA come in and say, we play on grass. So what did they do in Foxborough, in Atlanta, in LA, and everyone, Dallas, all those places that had field turf, all of a sudden they have grass for guys that when they get kicked in the shin, roll around on the ground like they just died. And now you have NFL guys, and what do? They ripped all the grass and put field turf back in. To me, you cannot give lip service to player safety and say, and you can grow grass indoors now with grow lights and all that kind of stuff. Arizona and the Raiders have both, they grow their grass outside and ship it in during the games. You can grow indoor grass with grow lights. The fact that they allow that to happen, to me, don't even talk to me about player safety. They've done a lot about concussions and the big padded helmets and all that. But until you all play on grass, don't even talk to me about player safety. And Thursday, everybody plays on Thursday now. You got 3 days to recover when it takes a whole week from those guys.
Yeah.
So I think all of those things contribute to injury. I think bigger, faster, stronger. I think sometimes just bad luck. The last time the 49ers went to the Super Bowl, they were relatively healthy that whole season, and they were playing in that same place with the substation right next door and all of that.
That's a great call. Great call.
So they won a couple Super Bowls when that was their training facility. Now they increased the power when they built the new stadium. So because everybody's talking about that, you got to address it, I guess, and you do your study and you're transparent on your study.
Yeah.
And if the study says, hey, we see no significant evidence, then publish it and tell where the study came from so that people aren't second guessing it.
Yeah. And go ahead, Tony. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, Joe, I know that you covered the World Cup, and we were both thoroughly engaged in all of the World Cup action, especially when it came to Levi's. But I heard a report about how they actually, and not to get too in the weeds about this, but that the turf was, natural grass, but that they wove also fake grass into it so it was more sustainable for the long haul of the use of the tournament. And I'm like, there are ways to, I don't know, cut down on the injuries and also cut down on the cost as well. I feel like there's ways to do this and please everybody, don't you think?
There's no question about it. I mean, the days of, all the San Francisco high schools using Kezar Stadium and St. Mary's and Santa Clara and USF playing there, and it's all a mud pit by the end of the year for the 49ers. Those days are long gone. There's no such thing as that anymore.
Right.
So the fact that they're just using that as an excuse, and if you really care about player safety, then as you said, Tony, there are any number of kind of hybrid things that you can do to make it safer for them. You ask any player, is it a little bit faster? I suppose, but it's 20 degrees hotter when it's in the sun. We've all stood on that stuff and see it reflect the heat. And what happens to your rubber cleat when your ankle sticks in that stuff or your foot sticks in it, and then your ankle or your Achilles or your knee or whatever has to give when it sticks. And there's no better example than that first year in the Meadowlands when they put that brand new turf down and they lost
Bosa.
Bosa and the defensive lineman from Stanford, Solomon Thomas.
Thomas.
They lost him. They lost I think the quarterback got hurt that game, and they also lost the defensive back, all in that same game on that new turf. And everybody that went in there complained about it, and they were, there's no excuse for it in my opinion.
So, Joe, a few more minutes with Joe Fonzi today, KTVU sports anchor, our buddy. You made a great point that when the Niners were healthy, they went right to the Super Bowl and played the Chiefs. We can argue they probably should have won that game, whatever. It's all in the past now. But let's just say, Joe, this team can remain relatively healthy this season. And I'm looking at the roster, and a lot of their marquee players are getting on there in age now. There's no getting around it. I mean, some of their best players are older now with a lot of mileage on the tires. But if they can stay healthy, where do you see them in terms of, I guess, the NFC West, which might be the best division in football, and then just the overall landscape of the league? If they're healthy, where do you kind of see this team?
Yeah, their roster's as strong as anybody in the league. And you hit it. You have to, it's a cliche, but you have to stay healthy.
Yeah.
What happens when your number one quarterback goes down, whoever the team is? You better have a good backup. Mac Jones proved last year he's probably the best backup in the league and better than a significant percentage of starters in the league. So you have to address that. They went out and addressed the wide receiver position. They drafted for it and signed free agents for it. I saw where it doesn't look like Christian Kirk's going to be ready in time for the start of the season.
Yeah.
But they deepened that position. Is there a better left tackle in football? Is there a better middle linebacker in football? Is there a better running back in football? Tight end if Kittle's healthy. So it's all about they've addressed the key. They have a couple pretty good corners now that Diamador Lenore and Green that they drafted for. So and they've signed some free agents to back that up. So I can't criticize what they've done. I mean, you can criticize the Trey Lance deal. We're a couple years down the road from that, but what they've tried, they've got a spotty record with running backs in the third round and all those kinds of things. But the draft is you do your homework, and then it's still kind of a crapshoot. I mean, we all remember when Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf were a pick one, and one of them's a Hall of Famer, and one guy lasted 3 seasons. So so I'm not one to really kind of second guess because they have the personal meetings. They meet the guys in the Pro Bowl. They do all that stuff that none of us do. But there's a reason why some teams are continually at the bottom, even though they get, high draft picks, and other teams, even when they have to, don't have the best draft picks. And usually because they're good or drafting late, remain good, because it's designed to not be that way. You only get the top draft picks by being a crappy team the year before, so the 49ers got Bosa because they were terrible the year before. But you don't want to be drafted number 1 or 2 or 3 very many times because that means you stunk the previous year.
That's it.
Hey, that's a good guy. Joe, Fred Warner. We talk about Fred Warner a lot on our show. Paulie and I are both big fans of Fred. And coming back from injury, again, going back to your career and the teams that you covered, does he remind you of anybody? Former 49ers, just the way his leadership, his work ethic, his passion. Is there anybody that comes to mind that he might remind you of that you've covered back in the day?
Well, if you go linebackers, it's kind of fun to go linebackers because they're kind of a unique breed. They're asked to cover running backs and tight ends. So, but they're not the fastest guys on the field. They're asked to be kind of a lineman doesn't put his hand in the ground, so you have mobility. So that team has a pretty good track record of linebackers. It's funny. I was doing a project for the 80-year anniversary yesterday.
Nice.
I was talking to both Eric Wright and Keena Turner.
Nice.
And Keena's as good as they come as well as a linebacker going in the Bartolo Hall this year.
Yep.
They said that 81 team, the one of the most impactful players on that team was when they got Hacksaw Reynolds at the end of his career, who showed up for the first meeting with a shoebox full of sharpened pencils on one side and dull pencils on the other side. And he took the young linebackers, Ricky Ellison and Keena Turner and those guys, and said, if you don't show up 5 minutes early for the meeting, prepared like this, then you're not really a professional football player. And this is a guy that had been in the league, 7 or 8 or 10 years by that time. So he said that he was one of the really dominant kind of influences on that 81 team. And then if you think back, prior to that, Dave Wilcox, Hall of Famer, if you look back at the old clips of him and see some of the things that they allowed linebackers to do in those days, like pick a quarterback up and body slam him to the ground and stuff, I mean, he was as badass as you come. So when you think 49er linebackers, those are the kind of two that kind of pop into my mind as Fred being cut off that same cloth. And talk about, draft picks up. He's a 3rd round draft pick,
Unbelievable.
So he'd be a 1st rounder if everybody knew what he would become,
Yeah.
So,
And Joe, you mentioned Hacksaw. Have you ever been to the Canyon Inn in Redwood City and there's a burger called the Hacksaw Burger?
It's a good burger.
I know of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Those guys when they trained in Redwood City at 711 Nevada Street. I still remember because that's where that place was. And until they put those kind of green covers around the cyclone fence. Those were just open back there in the old days, or before that there was no fence, and just kids from the neighborhood would come show up and shag balls and all that.
Great.
It's such a different world back then than it is now.
Hey, one final question for Joe, and I got this one anecdote I want to throw out there too. Going back to Hacksaw Reynolds one last time. So there's also a great story Ronnie Lott told us, and he's told the story a million times, but it's really funny. So when Ronnie was a rookie, you're right, Joe, that Hacksaw had a huge influence on Ronnie Lott, just how he practiced, how he prepared, how he played, all that stuff. But during one of those early practices, Hacksaw was sitting there with his sharpened pencils. Ronnie shows up. He's a rookie. He's trying to figure everything out. And he realizes he's looking around, and Ronnie's like, oh, man, I don't have a pencil. So he asked Hacksaw. He goes, Hacksaw, can I borrow one of those pencils? He had like 100 of them. And Hacksaw said, no. This way, tomorrow you'll come prepared. That's what it's about in the NFL. So it's like the pencils, man, carry a lot of weight.
Exactly right. And I forgot Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman again. They're as good a linebackers as Hall of Famer Patrick Willis, who so they have a pretty good history. I got to tell you one more Hacksaw story. These guys reiterated this yesterday. They said that so Keena, I think in '81 was a 2nd-year player, and Eric was a rookie. And he goes, we come down for our pregame meal the first time on the road, and Hacksaw is in his full uniform with his helmet on, eating his breakfast. He's taped the whole thing, spatted, ready to go, and he's eating his breakfast and drinking his coffee through his face mask. And they're going, what the heck? And he goes, hey, are you ready to play football? Because I am ready to play
man.
football.
Yeah, so that's the greatest. God bless Hacksaw Reynolds. And then, Joe, last thing for you, man, is just about some of we've been talking a lot about draft picks and stuff like that, and where Fred came in the 3rd round. Tony and I have been really excited about 2 guys, and I'm curious who you like from this young crop that's we've seen in preseason so far. We both like Grayson Holton quite a bit. Out of Oklahoma, he's been very disruptive on the defensive line. He already looks like a pro to me. And then Deshaun's dribbling. He has, I think, shown quite a bit. He's strong. He's big. He's got hands. He makes good decisions. Those are the young guys we like. Who kind of jumps out at you, Joe, so far as like promising?
Yeah, Stribling, number one. The fact that that he, it really feels like they were kind of test running him in both those first 2 preseason games. Throwing to him on 3rd downs to see him get open. It's very tough to gauge things in preseason games. We all know that. And teams always say when the 49ers traded down, multiple times, they go, the player that we thought we wanted was still available. And, they all say that, but there might have been some truth to that.
Yeah.
Remember that Jerry Rice was the third wide receiver taking that draft. So they, in all likelihood, that was the guy they targeted, and he seems like he's as advertised. I like the way Kalen Black looked the other night.
Yeah.
Looks like he's a hard runner.
Yep.
And I'm blanking on his first name, the linebacker Duggar.
Jalen Duggar.
Jaden Duggar.
Yeah.
Who in that very first game, he had Cam Ward in the open field, and that's one of the toughest plays that a linebacker ever has to make, open field, one-on-one tackle on an elusive player who, as we said, that hybrid thing that you have to be a linebacker. You have to be able to tackle the team's fastest guys in open field, cover some of the fastest ones downfield. And the fact that he made that nice open field tackle on Cam Ward, I think might have been the very first series. And I think he was wearing 53. I go, who's that 53? And I looked at him, I go, oh man, that was a heck of a play out in the open field.
Yeah.
So that kind of impressed me too, from whatever my eyes worth. And then, we'll find out on Sunday what 53 are there. And I don't imagine we'll be able to make too many conclusions on what happens in the Raider game. That's going to be, I heard this really explained in an interesting way on NFL Network. And it was that you don't want to get your starters hurt. You already know who those guys are going to be. But also the guys who are going to not make the team, you don't want them to get hurt, because then you got to put them on IR and pay them for a whole year. So they were going, who do you field in that meaningless game? If you field all the guys aren't going to make the team, but you have to put 11 guys out there for every down, very likely he goes, and this executive was saying, I remember some guys that were hoping to get hurt in that last game, so you got to keep them around for another year, because that's the only way they're going to make the team or get a settlement of some kind. So they're balancing that thing, and we don't want to get our star guys hurt, so we don't play them. But we don't want to get one of these guys hurt that we know has just been like holding tackling dummies during practice, because then we got to be stuck with him for a whole year. So it's really kind of an interesting dynamic in that last preseason game.
No question. Hey, Paulie, I just want to ask Joe on the way out. And Joe, thanks again for joining us, man. And we'd love to get you on again in the near future, because I'm loving this. But over the course of your career, and there's no wrong answer, of course, but is there any one game or one event that you covered that really separates itself from all the others?
Absolutely. Yeah. Easiest answer you've ever asked. So it was January 1982, Candlestick Park. And if you guys remember the way I was working for KSBW in Salinas then. I didn't come to San Francisco till about 9 months after that.
Oh, wow.
But, Salinas, Monterey, we considered ourselves a satellite of the Bay Area down there too. So the 49ers having that run, I was up here every Sunday covering that and doing locker room interviews and that kind of stuff, and then taking them back and airing them during the week. So if you remember the setup at Candlestick, the football press box was an afterthought, because that was an open air baseball stadium originally.
Right.
So the press box for baseball was behind home plate, which would have been the end zones for football. So when they double decked it, they stuck that press box way up on the top on the 50-yard line, which would have been down the left field line, basically.
Yeah.
Remember, there was one creaky old elevator to get up and down. You could fit about 8 people in that thing. And you had to go through the concession lines and all that, and the stand to get to that elevator. So it's the commercial break before the drive started, and all the media is heading down the elevator if they hadn't already gone down there. And to get to the locker rooms, you had to go back in through the stands, onto the field, and into that corner, which would have been the old Giants dugout down the first base line over there.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that corner of the end zone down there.
Yep.
And the drive starts, and I was down there during the commercial break, and I started moving with that drive behind the Cowboy bench.
Nice.
So I get to about the 20-yard line, and I see that. You've seen those pictures. There's a crowd of people down there in the end zone.
Yeah,
totally.
They don't allow that today. But back then, if you just had a media pass, you could go on the field anytime you wanted.
Yeah.
So there's that crowd down there, and I go, I can't see anything down there. I'm going to stay here at the 20. So I stood right there at the 20, and Joe is rolling right toward me.
Wow.
And when they pump, and he gets those guys up in the air, Harvey Martin and Too Tall and those guys. The camera goes up. If you freeze it right there, you can see right by the down marker a dude with a everybody wants to be Tom Selleck mustache sitting there from the 80s, just standing there like this watching. I go, there I am. So
that's great. That's
no question. Because I saw Joe get rid of the ball, and I'm thinking, just get rid of it. Don't get sacked. but I didn't have a good view. So I kind of peek around and I see Dwight's big old hands go up in the air. But I couldn't tell if he came down in bounds or not from my vantage point. And there was an official trailing, and the official goes up with his hands. And it was like Candlestick Park was silent for about a second and a half. People went, Dwight caught it. Cut his feet down. Yeah. Official went like that. It's a touchdown. And then everybody went crazy.
Pandemonium. Yeah.
So without question, the most spontaneous, that was the most exciting. And if you got time, I'll tell you two good stories from that.
Sure, man. Yeah.
So Dwight and I did some media stuff, and we did a few little get-togethers that when he knew he was sick, he wanted to do last couple of just kind of a little tour of do these kind of deals, and people could ask him all kinds of questions.
Yeah.
So my favorite two good Dwight stories. He goes, so the three most important men, adult men in his life at that time, were his best friend Joe Montana,
nice,
Eddie D, the owner, and his dad. And he goes, none of those three people saw the catch. And I go, okay, how come? He goes, well, Joe was on his back, so Joe never saw it.
True.
Eddie had gone down there with all of us down there and was standing in that corner, but he didn't go along with the drive. He just stood down there because he was going to basically shake hands with the guys and go, nice job. You guys came close. It was a great game, all that kind of stuff. It ended up being a different result. But if you remember, there are a bunch of mounted police down there, guys on horseback. Eddie hears the commotion and turns and looks right into the horse's rear end. So Eddie's line was, Dwight makes the catch of the franchise, and all I see is a horse's ass. So that was his line.
Yeah, great line.
And then his dad is back in Charlotte, and they only had enough money they had to roll the dice and go, we're going to save the money for the Super Bowl in case we're not going to pay two trips for the family. So they stayed back to watch the NFC Championship game. So the drive starts progressing, and it gets closer and closer and more nervous, and his dad couldn't stand it anymore. So he goes upstairs to the bedroom because they only have one TV downstairs. And his dad didn't see it, and Dwight says, his mom said, honey, come downstairs. Dwight just did something. So, so he goes, the three most important men in my life, none of them saw the catch.
That's incredible.
And I can hear Dwight telling that. I can almost hear the voice, the Southern accent. I can hear it. Yeah.
And then the other one is, that play, the Cowboys always still to this day say, oh, Joe was throwing it away. And it was a design play. It's called sprint right option.
Correct.
They had scored on that play earlier. First option was Freddie Solomon. They had scored a touchdown on that earlier in the game. And Freddie was covered, and then Dwight was the second option on that. So Dwight said, Bill had us up in Rockland. It's 125 degrees after practice. He's going, I will never call this play on fourth down because, Joe, if you err, I want you to err by throwing it in a spot where only Dwight could catch it. If you err, do it by overthrowing him. So don't take a chance. So therefore, I'll never call it on fourth down. We'll always have another down. And he goes, and we would practice that at Rockland, and Joe couldn't get it right. He'd underthrow it. He'd airmail him, whatever. He goes, so here it is, 3rd and 3 from the 6. He goes, here comes that play, just as Bill promised. I'll never call it on fourth down. And the one time when Joe had to put it in the perfect spot, he put it in the absolute perfect spot.
That's, of course,
the perfect spot, man.
That's what Montana did. That's what he did, man. Well, hey, I'm glad you shared those stories with us, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, thanks.
Tony and I could talk Niners all freaking day, man.
All day.
And
all day.
We love hearing stories about the old days because we grew up. We were kids during those.
Yeah, we all grew up with that, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, those were truly, I look back on those days. I mean, it was a magical time to be a Niner fan and to be in the Bay and be part of this community and the team and all that stuff. So, Joe, thank you, man. Thanks for sharing those stories. Thanks for being on today. And yeah, we'll definitely reach out during the season. We'd love to have you back on.
Let's do it. I got a million of those old stories.
All right, Joe. Thank you so much. Have a good season. We'll be watching, man.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks so much, everybody. That's Joe Fonzi, KTVU Sports. Of course, you've seen him on the air for years. You see him on the 49er, the point after. I love his post-game coverage, too, when he talks to the players. I always feel like the players have a lot of respect and love for Joe, too.
No question.
Just by the way they interact, like he's passing the mic, you can tell. But, Tony, anyway, always a pleasure talking to Joe Fonzi. Hey, listen, you know what's funny about this? This is a taped interview. So we're going to kind of end this and then go back to live coverage right here, right now on the PMP show coming at you.
Oh, there we go. Hey, guys. Sorry, had it muted. That was an awesome interview by Fonzie. Tony and Paulie did a fantastic job. awesome stories from the 80s. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. Wish you guys all a happy Friday. Noemi, Corinne, JJ, Nutter, 49er, Red Zone. I see all you guys hung out. So thank you. That was awesome. TG, everybody, have an awesome Friday. And I'm just going to dismiss the class so we can get on out of here.
Business hours are over, baby. It's business. It's business time.
And all right, everybody. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Super fun week. Next week, Paulie will be back. Tony will be back. It's going to be awesome. Have a great weekend. And cheers, everybody.